What's up YouTube, Sea-Lord here from Team Dangskull. So today I'm going to be discussing a new card that is coming out in Dark Neostorm. So it's called Null Nun and Blossoming Dogwood. This card is actually kind of interesting. So I'm going to read off its effect. So what it does is it's a level 3 water zombie tuner effect monster, 0 attack, 1800 defense. And once per turn, you can use this card's name effect only once that turn, so it's hard once per turn. Quick effect, you can discard this card, apply this effect this turn. Each time your opponent special summons an effect monster during the main phase or battle phase, you gain life points equal to the current attack of those monsters. If you do not gain any life points with this effect, have your life during the end phase. So, this card's pretty cool, pretty interesting. You know, as part of the Handtrap series, like Ghost Ogre, Winter Cherries, Ash Blossom, Ghost Bell, and now this one, Null Nun. So that's 5 so far. Each one has had their own different typing. Let's see. Light, dark, fire, earth, now water. So if it keeps up with the trend, the next one's wind. So let's talk about some of the cool things about this card. This card is absolutely amazing, and it would have been better if it had came out a few sets ago, one ban list ago basically, when all the Firewall FDK junk was going on, you know, because then the Firewall FDK, literally this card tells the Firewall FDK, no, you're not hurting me, you're just going to keep giving me life every time you summon back to the field graph. So it's really interesting card. Let's go with some of the most standard uses that you can have with this card. So let's say you're in game 3 and your opponent summons Neospace Connector. They activate the effect, you chain this to Connector because you know they're going to search for Aqua Dolphin. They special summon Aqua Dolphin. Well, now they can't burn you for game in the time with Aqua Dolphin. So it essentially saved you from the Aqua Dolphin burn in time. Let's see other things that this card does. Let's see, you know, really it stops things like the Rongo Bongo. You know, opponent pays half their life for a hero lives to summon out Stratus. Well, you chain to a hero lives with it, and now they've paid 4,000 and given you 1,800 right there. So, you know, it's actually really nice right in that instance. You know, slash draw FDK isn't viable with this card because you activate it when they first start trying to spam their Saryujas and everything like that, and they're just not getting anywhere. Or you chain it to a danger monster effect, and even if they don't get to special summon that danger, you know, they're gonna kind of have no choice but to keep trying to summon dangers at that point. And the card itself is really good. You're going to be able to tell who's a good player and who's a bad player based on when they activate this card, and if they main or side deck this card. This card really, I don't think it's main deck worthy. It's definitely side deckable. There's no argument on it being a side deckable card. Because against some matchups it's just garbage. Like against the Oltergeist matchup, what are you going to do? Oh, I activate the effect of Oltergeist, you know, Multi-Faker. Oh, I'll chain to it. Okay, whatever. I don't do any more special summoning for the turn, or if I do, you know, on your turn, it's just going to be the 0 attacker, so you're not going to gain any life points from it. And that's one of the interesting things about this card, is that if a monster with 0 attack is special summoned, the opponent gains no life off of it. Which is interesting, but I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere. Yeah. The card is crazy good. It's easy to compare to a card like Maxi. A lot of people right now are comparing it to Maxi. Some people are like, it's a boneless Maxi, or, oh, it's like a mini Maxi. And I'm going to explain why Maxi and this card are very different. With Maxi, in the current game, some players will continue to keep playing through Maxi. Some decks will keep playing through Maxi because their win con doesn't care about you drawing up your cards. Some decks are like, oh, you max C'd me, you just made my win con easier. Like the Mayakashi FTK, let's say if we had max C now. You wouldn't want to max C against the Mayakashi FTK because they're literally just going to make you deck out even quicker. You know, oh, you draw a card, but then you mill 4. So really, all you're losing 5 cards every single time they special summon, you know. While with this here, you activate it against a deck that does a lot of special summoning, and times called in round, you're probably going to have more life points than your opponent at this point. And then, for example, your opponent goes Soul Charge. You just say, how many are you going to Soul Charge? They tell you how many, and you go, boom, drop this card. You just paid life points for X monsters, and I gain all their attack as life points. Soul Charge now is no longer I activate it and resolve it, I win kind of card. Soul Charge is now I activate it, am I going to win kind of card in the scenario, you know. It makes cards like Soul Charge weaker because now you have this, and now you also have Bell to do it as well. So you got 2 really good hand traps that will affect Soul Charge, which is great. This card also makes decks like Prank Kids and Rongo, really. Decks that like to special a lot. It makes them kind of want to slow down. Because like Prank Kids, they'll do all their special summoning and stuff, and they'll gain life points and try to beat you that way in time. But if you use this card here, they don't really have that option of beating you with the life point difference in time. Yeah, even though the Prank Kids don't really have a lot of attack themselves, it's their fusions and their links and stuff like that that will give you the life points there. But yeah, you resolve it against them, and they kind of don't have much choice, really. If they're trying to win with life points in time, they're gonna really have to stop with their specials at that point. You might gain it once, but you know, and not lose half your life. But yeah. The downside to this card. Let's go on to the downsides. I really don't see any. I mean, it can get called by the grave, but so can all hand traps. Called by the grave is not a good argument for it. Situational is some arguments that people are having, but really in this day and age, everyone special summons. And, you know, some people are like, oh, I'm willing to pay half my life points, discard this card to stop you from special summoning. Because there's going to be those players out there who are just going to be like, oh, during your standby phase, I dropped this. Ha, ha, ha. You can't special summon, basically. And that's how you're going to tell who's a good player and who's a bad player. You know, is really half your life points worth trying to stop them from playing their turn or not? And honestly, some players will just be like, okay, I'll set up a board without, you know, special summoning at all. So let's think about what decks does this card not really work against. The first one is Altergeist. Altergeist don't do a lot of special summoning, and honestly, they don't need to. You can, if you drop this against Altergeist, they're gonna go, okay, I'll just stop special summoning for the turn, whatever. You know, and they'll just special summon on your turn, or if you activate it on your turn when they do their special summoning, they're like, that's fine, I got negations, I got bounces, everything like that. The hand traps are really not that great against Altergeist, especially if they get Protocol active, and if Protocol's been active and you can't remove Protocol, you know, there's no point. Another deck this doesn't work the best against, I would say probably Thunder Dragons, just because, the one that you're really going to activate in response to will probably be Hawk. You know, you activate in response to Hawk. That's your best time to use it, really. If they go to special summon one of the big guys, you can't actually, you know, activate it when they're attempting the, you know, the contact fusion summon. And I'll go over later what kind of instances you can activate this in and what kind of instances you can't activate this in, and that'll just be real quick. So yeah, and then another time this card's not great is against like Cyber Dragons. You know, Cyber Dragons has a lot of inherent summons. You know, oh, special summon Cyber Dragon from hand. Oh, I'll drop this. Okay, you dropped it, but I'm just gonna leave a 2100 beat stick on board, or I'm just going to put a bunch of face down cards. I mean, you kind of slow them down with it, and if you are using like Chimeric Fortress or Mega Fleet in your extra deck, then that's great. You kind of hurt them, but honestly, that's not even a good enough deck to warrant using it. Alright, so let's go on to the situations in which you can use this card in. So, for example, let's say I summon Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the beginning. You cannot chain it to the summon of Envoy at the beginning and get life points. Inherent summons is a term that we've come up with as a player base, but think about it like this. If you can summon a creature that doesn't start a chain, you won't be able to use this card. So like Cyber Dragon, BLS, any of the Chaos Monsters, any Link Summon, any Contact Fusion, any Xyz Summon, any Synchro Summon, a lot of mechanics you can't use it against. Things you can use it against, like I said before, Neospace Connector, A Hero Lives, Monster Reborn, Soul Charge, Living Fossil, Mystic. You can't use it against Mystic Tomato. Actually, can you? No, because Mystic Tomato is during damage calc, so no, you can't use it against Mystic Tomato, but, I mean, you can drop it before you attack a Mystic Tomato, So, like, let's say some Altergeist decks are running Mystic Tomato now, so, like, what you do is you enter battle phase, you drop it as soon as you enter battle phase, attack over the Mystic Tomato. Once they summon out Multifaker, you gain the 12 from Multifaker, and then you gain the life from whatever they're summoning off of Multifaker. Probably, Silcoitus. Yeah, they'll probably summon Silcoitus. And if it's Silcoitus has what, 800, so you'll gain a total of 2,000, and then they'll start bouncing your stuff back with Silcoitus. But, I mean, that's not even a big deal. Let's see, what else kind of things is this card good for? Let's say you go first, and you build a board that your opponent has to special summon in order to out. That's a good time to use the card. But honestly, the card itself is not main deck worthy. If I were to rate this out of 10, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's good, it's just not as good as like Ghost Bell or Ash Blossom or Ghost Ogre. I would say it's around the same level as Winter Cherries, where Winter Cherries is very good against certain matchups, but against other matchups it's really not useful at all. And I'm not saying they're the exact same, because that would make no sense if I said that. But as far as usability, I think they are both very similar, in which they are very, very exclusive on what you can use them on. And Winter Cherries is just because it's stuck to whatever cards you have in your extra deck or that you sided as a Cherries target. While this card here, Null Nun, she's restricted to essentially cards that create chains when summoning in order to get the most use out of it. But that's what I got to say about this card. Anyways, this is Sea Lord from Team Dankskull, signing out.